Like, they were a wild, rambunctious band when they were over in Germany and stuff. And then when they got, what is his name? To be their manager. He, that's why they had those clothes on and they looked like that. He whipped them into shape.
Brian.
Yeah, Brian Epstein. He made them professionals.
Ah, yes, come in. Our featured presentation is about to start. You have entered into cult cinema with the dastardly evil Cheese Film and my partner in crime, Hecubus. This is the Grindhouse Podcast. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome back. I am Cheese Film. And I'm Hecubus.
I'm Randy, mate.
He's Randy Official. And we're going to be talking about the Hard Day's Night of rock and roll movies. Hard Day's Night. I thought of that. I thought that would be funny. Because everybody's like, well, we're going to make the next Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we're going to talk about the Hard Day's Night of Hard Day's Night. It's a Hard Day's Night. The Beatles' first movie.
Yeah, that's their first movie.
Which, if you don't know, they have done 3 where they're in it. And then the Yellow Submarine.
Yellow Submarine, right.
Which is about them.
Because Let It Be is a movie, too.
But that is a concert, though.
No, it's the making of the movie, of the record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's what Get Back is, that movie, and then other stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, Get Back is really cool.
But we're going from where it all started.
Yes.
The rise of what would be known as the greatest band of all time.
They're the Beatles of
they're the Beatles of rock and roll. But not just rock and roll, of all of it.
Of everything.
All of it. You ever see a boy band?
Yep.
They were the first.
Yeah, they were.
Not like first, but like they were the band where it was commercial.
Yeah.
Like they all have a look, they all have to be a certain way, they have their fan club, all of that stuff. The reason why NSYNC is the way they are is because the Beatles was the way they were.
Right.
That's what that means.
And there's a cute one, whatever, funny one.
And the Monkees really took and ran that idea too.
That was the whole point of the Monkees.
But yeah, we're talking about A Hard Day's Night.
From 1964.
1964. This movie is in black and white. So, Randy, did you watch it?
I did. It was only an hour and a half.
It was. It was only an hour and a half. Directed by Mr. Richard Lester. Written by Alun. I think it's Alun. It's A-L-U-N.
Yeah, I said Alun in my head, yeah.
Owen. And it is in the Criterion Collection, which is the version I saw with the commentary by just about everybody who made the movie.
I don't think that's the version I have.
Which version do you have?
I don't know, it's gray, but it might still be the Criterion one. We got it a lot longer ago than you got this. Richard Lester directed a film that the Beatles love called Running, Jumping, Standing Still movie, which is very stupid. If you see it, it's stupid. But he also did Help, the other Beatles movie, How I Won the War, the John Lennon movie. He was also the producer of that. He's the other guy. Listen. Oh, what's his name that directed Superman? Richard Donner.
Okay.
Richard Donner directed Superman, and he directed a lot of Superman 2. Then they cut it in half and put it out. Richard Lester filled in the stuff that, because Richard Donner got fired.
Yeah.
He made the other one. Watch the Donner cut. It's so much better. He also did Superman 3, which when I was a kid, I loved. I love Superman 3.
I have a soft spot for Superman 3.
It's great.
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor is awesome in it. And, all right, that's all I got to say about that. And that's all I got to say about that.
Please tell me
about that. Hard Day's Night was pretty good. I think they only used like 4 songs though. Like they play Once I Ballad. I think they play that
twice.
Yeah. So I was like, Sarah made me acknowledge it. I was like, oh no, I like the Beatles songs.
Well, they have a mini concert at the end of this.
No, yeah,
They do
I
play.
skipped part of that.
They do that song and then a whole nother song at the rehearsal, don't they?
I think so. Yeah.
What's the harmonica one on the train?
Yes.
They
Hard
play
Day's
that
Night.
too. Not that before
No.
that.
Oh.
I mean after that. That's how the movie opens. But
I know what you're talking about, but that got played twice too, because that got played at the show and in the train.
yeah.
Okay.
Which I was like, I don't think they needed to do that. They got plenty songs. Like,
Well, at this time
in
they only had what?
1964, they only got like 2 or 3 records.
Yeah. And 2 of those records are covers. Like with the Beatles, it's all
It's not
Long
all
Tall
covers,
Sally and
Oh, I wish they did Long Tall Sally in this. I love them doing that.
so I got a list of who was on this commentary. It was done in 2002. It's got produced by Martin Lewis. It features John Junkin, David Jansen, Jeremy Lloyd, the cinematographer Gilbert Taylor, and the associate producer Dennis O'Dell. The second director Barry Melrose, assistant editors Pamela Tomling and Roy Benson.
That's a lot of people.
A whole lot of people, and once they get talking, they can't tell who's who.
That's hilarious.
But so I've got a lot of fun, cool things about this because there were producers, assistant directors, cinematographers, and then editors.
They were there.
Every single person you'd want to talk about a movie is on this commentary talking about this movie.
Except the Beatles.
Yes.
yeah.
Which, if they would have done this commentary in 1964, they would have been on this commentary, and it would have been way more chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Beatles were children.
Yes.
Like, I don't mean they were young. I mean they had literally childlike senses of humor and of wonder. They were hilariously adorable.
Yeah, that's what's really great about this.
Yeah.
The movie is there's goofiness and just being silly.
It felt like a thing we could have made.
Yeah, it's like
a thing we would have made. Like something where it's like, and now we're on the train, mess with them. Because then Can
we have our ball back, mister?
The sequence, when he's like outside the train running with it, that was awesome. I thought Ringo was going to suck because his first line is terrible. Do you remember it? I don't remember what he says. But it's oh
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And he like says something, but immediately like laughs too quick. Like it's not even a beat for him to be like acknowledge what he just said.
That is terrible.
So I had to turn the commentary on and off for this movie a couple times because they were nonstop talking. I could not tell what was going on.
Yeah.
Because they weren't even like, well, so in this scene, the way the script was, we had to make sure it was like, so when we were trying to get this funded over here, it's like, all right, okay. Well, one of the guys asked the cinematographer a couple times how he got the lighting for this because you got to remember this is 1964. Cameras aren't like this. Cameras are like this.
Yeah.
And they're mounted and they don't move.
Yeah.
Like you move around it. So the fact that not only is this camera this wide in a this wide compartment.
Yeah. It is.
A lot of it was handheld. They were holding this camera.
A giant camera.
As the film was running through it. And a note to you cinematographers out there. He said the trick to make it look as good as it does is to not try to be still. Is to try to move with it. Because you're moving on a train.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you are trying to move, it kind of mellows itself out.
Yeah.
So you get what we saw, which was something that looks like a camera's on a train.
And now you just push that button on your Apple phone and it takes all any jitteriness away.
You got the stabilizer, and then you throw it into After Effects, and you drag a shaky cam on it, and now it's all wonk. So what I've got written down is a lot of like how the crew interpreted things and how the the cameraman and the producers and stuff like that, their experience with making this film, as opposed to like, it's weird because like I don't want to say the making of the film because it literally is, but like when I watched the commentaries for like War of the Worlds, they were talking about how the film stock in this had to be completely redone because these shots had to be redone because it's the first time it's in color, and now they have the stock footage for it, and this is where it's going to be going, and this is what you're watching is the start of a stock film, right? And this, it's like, well, we didn't have any cops, so we had no cop help, but like there's no cops around, there's not even a cop here, this is a crowd of people. And they're like, and I didn't like that because we needed people, we needed these helps, and nobody would help us. So it's not as much as it's like a document or a commentary on what
it's like
you're watching.
anecdotes about it.
Yeah, it's like you're literally watching them literally talk about the stuff you wouldn't expect to hear about on this film. So I've got a lot of fun, cool stuffs. But we open up with the debut song. We got the Hard Day's Night.
Yeah, which is a Ringoism. Ringo, they came out of the studio, and it was daytime, and he said, boy, it's been a hard day's night. He looked up, and it was nighttime or whatever, daytime.
Uh-huh.
That's where that comes from.
Huh.
There's another one, too. I can't think of it right off the top of my head.
That really was some octopus
8 days a
garden.
week. 8 days a week is a Ringoism, too.
Huh. Okay.
You want to know what's funny?
What?
I named some of our songs.
Yeah, you are the
Yeah,
Ringo.
you are the
of
Ringo.
group.
Yeah. And I've made some bad names. They were like, "What are we gonna name this? Anything but anything but this." I said, "That's it. that's the name."
So I mentioned there's no police help when they're running through the streets and stuff like that.
That's real mobs.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
Because they would call, hey, the Beatles are going to be in this area.
That's
I want to see the Beatles.
That's
Yeah.
a good way to do it.
Because in 1964, the Beatles are,
The shit.
here they
even
are.
Crazier. That's real reactions then.
Yeah, it is. And like in the crowd in the TV studio, all that stuff.
Where they're ramming into each other. That's
Yes.
crazy. That's cool.
And that's what they tried to emulate in Rock and Roll High School.
Yeah.
Is that kind of stuff.
But if you called up and were like, the Ramones are going to be there, you wouldn't get that crowd.
So it was kind of all improvised. They just kind of had an area.
It feels
And we're like, all right, run. All right, well, we're gonna go over here, run this. There wasn't it wasn't written. It wasn't scripted. It was improvised. That's what that word means.
Thanks.
Well, he said what? And I was, well, I mean,
Yeah, I said what because
well,
course
with
there's
it
an
being
exclamation.
choreographed, like you would feel like it was choreographed,
I feel like-
but it wasn't, because it kind of looks like it is.
every
think
actor
so.
in this acts.
No, I think it looks great. Like it's really them and Beatlemania.
Well, I guess I'm just
They're the Beatles in this, right?
spoiled.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Very
think
much
they do
so.
that. I look like I'm doing the Beatles. Is that their manager in them? Like, actually?
No.
Okay.
No, those are actors.
They are acting fine. Everyone else just needs to do a good job for them to shine, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you
They are
you expect
cartoons.
Ringo to be that, like,
My favorite part is
George
the
not
Ringo
talking
part.
at all.
When that instrumental music is called Ringo's theme.
Yeah.
And then he's going to take
Hey,
it.
he
Go ahead and put
he
that picture up
He
there.
puts the hat on and nobody knows who he is now.
Yeah.
That part.
Well, the part that I love the best, he's going to hurry up. That's it. Whether he's, yeah, right there. He's taking a selfie, and what happens is he pulls the thing, and the camera falls in the water. That really happened. It's just so Ringo. that is what it is, and I crack up with that. I cracked up throughout this whole movie. I think it's
silly.
hilarious. It's
I thought it was
funny as
pretty
hell.
good.
Yeah.
I really thought a lot of it landed.
Is that with the
kids-
cop?
Yeah.
That cop is a huge Beatles fan. And he happened to be like, hey, can you do this for us? And he's like, sure. I love the Beatles.
Oh, everybody attached to this was a huge Beatles fan,
Yeah.
except for,
The grandpa?
I believe, the director.
Oh, because the
Richard
grandpa
Lester?
was
Who was like,
awesome.
these guys ain't going anywhere. Oh, it was one of the people who did the commentary, so it wasn't Richard Lester. It might have been a producer. I don't remember who said it, but because I couldn't tell who was talking. They're all
yeah,
old
right.
British people. The woman,
They're all
the
very
editor.
clean, though.
was the only one I could tell when she was talking because she's the only
She's
woman in
only
the room.
woman.
But you had something. He's like, this ain't going anywhere. This is gonna be something that nobody even watches. Nobody's gonna think twice of.
That's
This is
hilarious.
in and out. Like he literally thought that. And like 2 years later, he's like, well, I was wrong.
Yeah. And they probably had a lot of that mindset when they're making this movie, and it works totally. Everything about this movie works, I think.
So I brought up the no police stuff. They had no police, and that opener was shot on a Sunday, so they couldn't even get the police if they wanted to. It was all improvised, and all the girls they'd just show up. They said we would put it out there,
Yeah.
and just a group of girls would just be there.
I don't doubt it. When they find out, like, that's why he went by Paul Ramon.
Yeah.
There's video footage that right there that Tom just put up there is the premiere.
Of
Look
the
at all
movie?
them people, man.
Dang.
And that's just for the premiere. It looks like when they're going to see Star Wars after it gets big, but that was the premiere day.
Wow.
And they're yelling out his window because he's just gets married, engaged to Linda, and they're yelling, "She's ugly," and all this stuff. There's huge crowds of people out there just yelling stuff up at his window, and
That's terrible.
it's nuts. It was really crazy.
And you see, like, a lot of times throughout the movie, they'll run from the mob.
Yeah,
And they'll go into a car.
yeah,
And
I
they'll
love
leave that car and go into another one.
That was
a real
awesome.
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
real.
that's so smart.
And how they really got away from that stuff
Yeah.
is they would
You have to
fake it
put
out.
things in the between them.
Yeah, or they
right.
would
Because you want to know what's funny? We were like, those cars are like hitting each other. Why are they so close? And then you see it's a wall. They just built a wall with
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
And they're just going to run through the cars. Because only one door.
and it's just cool that like it's really like we talk about time capsules. Like this
Yeah.
is literally
This is Beatlemania.
boom, right?
yeah.
Yeah, at the height of its just about to be the height of its popularity.
Yeah, it's not fake.
No.
None of that stuff is fake. That's great.
It got to a point where they couldn't get. They keep. I thought this was also kind of adorable that these old British men just kept referring to the Beatles as the boys,
Yeah.
like they're kids.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the boys on or off the trains to do these shots, so they would film a lot of it just out in the nowheres
Right.
of London.
Yeah.
And they were worried. They're like, "Well, what were you thinking about? Like the background? You got that big open window of well, over here it's this, and then the next shot it's just some wild wherevers." He's like, "Not really. I wasn't thinking that at all. I mean, like it's
It's a
all
train.
going this
Yeah.
way." He's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Yeah. I mean, you would think that that's some sort of looping footage, but no. They rented out a train for $200 and
$200. Yeah.
4 signatures. A lot of this.
I think that's cool that getting their autographs was part of the price.
Yeah, they were given a budget of $115,000.
$115,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Mr. Richard was like, "We can't do that. We can't make a movie with $115,000. Come on, we need something." So they bumped it up to 180, and they finished at like 150. They
Yeah.
finished under budget.
Yeah.
Because, and this is one of the coolest things too, all these sets, like the guy who owns the bar
Yeah.
knows him.
Right.
And they're like, "Yeah, you can film here."
Yeah.
There's all favors.
Yeah. Like
Favors
that,
and signatures.
and that snooty place they go to.
Yeah.
They just set it up like that too, and it was like, oh, well, they're like, you can't make a mess or something like that, or they had to be wearing ties.
Yeah.
Something
because
like
that's
that.
that's how that bar really
Right.
was.
Yeah.
So they had to play by the rules
Yeah.
too. You brought up Paul's granddad.
Yes. Love
He's
that.
he's in Kubrick's movie, isn't he?
Bro is a menace.
Dr. Strangelove. He's in.
Maybe he is. I don't remember. His name's Wilford Bramble, and I don't have him. The only thing I have about him, is because I'm like, why do they keep saying he's so clean? That is
Yeah.
just so random and
and
weird.
he takes it offense. Like, he's like,
Well, he even says it after, "Well, I'm so clean." He was in a TV show, and what was the name of it? Steptoe and Son, and that's where the Beatles watched that show too, and they used to call him a dirty old man in it all the time. So that's the reference to that TV show they used to like. He's so clean, is a reference to that dirty old man stuff.
His name was Wilfred Bramble.
Yeah.
This is a good bit.
They bring up the fact
he like sniffs the coke. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They bring up that movie I just said in the commentary.
Oh, Dr. Strangelove?
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to find it. But I thought that maybe he was in that. Because he looks kind of like somebody in that. But he also kind of looks like Hornsworth from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
He does kind of look like that, but that's not him.
Yeah, but they've got the same kind of head.
Yeah, they do.
And then with the
and
round
the
glasses. Yeah, they kind of look alike. But yeah, so a lot of the filming was very awkward, he said. They did a lot of it handheld. They did a lot of it just moving. There wasn't a lot of...
you could tell that when they're like dancing with the people and stuff like that.
There wasn't a lot of time, really. It was very guerrilla, especially for being kind of a studio film, because
United Artists, I think?
United Artists produced this movie. United Artists, which was previously Charlie Chaplin Films, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
And Randy, if you didn't know who that is, he's that right there. It's Charlie Chaplin.
You're pointing to something off camera.
Which I think is pretty cool. You know, that
This guy looks familiar.
Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in...
Big in the 1940s?
No.
No, it was before that.
All right.
In the 30s. The 20s even.
Yeah, silent stuff.
No, I know who that is.
It's a tramp.
Yeah. I've seen...
Are we going to do a Chaplin film on
I've
this?
seen that one.
You've seen the kid?
Yeah. Or the other one.
Which other? There's a lot of them. Modern Times?
I don't remember.
Does he go through a big machine?
No.
He really did that.
Yeah. That's him and Buster Keaton were crazy, man.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the Beatles. So like the lighting, how did you get the train to look lit like this? Had a generator car. Once they secured the train, they bought a train.
$200 and
price.
4 autographs.
The train company gave them extra cars for whatever they needed.
Wow.
What are the names of these things? The restaurant cart for food. They fed them.
Bar cart.
Wow.
On just because it's the Beatles, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and just kind of like every day they would run it out here, and then we'd run it back, just in the countryside of London.
Yeah.
Because it was the Beatles, and the head of the train company liked the Beatles, but they had a generator car just to power the lights to make the shots look clean. And if you didn't know that they were lit like that, you would think like, wow, like
it's just from the
natural
window.
light. Yeah, because it looks natural.
It does. It really does.
And I was very impressed with that. They were too. All these years later, it took weeks to get that train though. They kept trying, and had so much bad luck with just being on a train with all these mobs of people.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It was marked as one of the cheapest movies ever made. So, Mr. Randy, you're a big Beatles fan.
Yeah, I like them.
What did you think about the fact that the Beatles, being the Beatles at the time, are acting alongside other people? Do you think that they were well integrated, or did you think they were like big and showboaty?
Probably half and half. Probably some were and some weren't.
I think that I don't think they acted at all.
You don't think so?
I think that's exactly what if you were going to go talk to them, that's what this is what it would look like.
So that was the most natural
Yeah.
that they have ever been.
Yeah.
That was exactly who they were on and off stage. They were just goofy, silly people. They were kids.
Did somebody put a
Having a
old
good
man in the
time.
closet? He's right, you know.
I think a lot of their stuff was improvised too. Like they didn't really have scripts. They were just doing stuff.
Right.
They also, the crew said that they had no problem dealing with their egos. They didn't really have them.
That's
They
great.
checked their egos and were there to make a movie.
Yeah. This is before they grew beards, too, so... they were
Well, yeah,
probably
it's way
chiller.
before that time.
Yeah.
But like they were a wild, rambunctious band when they were over in Germany and stuff. And then when they got, man, what is his name? To be their manager. He like
Grew 'em up.
that's why they had those clothes on and they looked like that. He whipped them into shape.
Brian
Yeah, Brian Epstein. He made them professionals.
made them professional. So, and that's something they were talking about too. Because it's the Beatles.
Yeah.
Call time's 8 o'clock, right? Are you going to tell John Lennon to be here no later than time?
Yeah, right.
Well, guess what?
Damn right.
Guess
you're
who
gonna.
showed up right on time? Every single one of them, every single day. Had no problem. They followed every ounce of direction they were given.
They
I'll
also
bet.
probably wanted it.
I didn't really care. They're making a movie. They're having
No,
fun.
I'm saying
I think
they
they were
wanted
just having fun.
wanted the movie more than the other people. They were like, awesome.
Yeah.
We're in this. I'm what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
One
gonna
more?
be in the
Heard.
movie.
One more? No problem.
And a lot of that is thanks to Brian, who like
Yeah.
put him on a schedule, and they said grew them up, is what they
Yeah.
kept saying.
Right. And you could totally believe that. And so I'm not surprised that they were on time and all that stuff. It just makes total sense that they were professionals because they didn't want to get yelled at by Brian. You know what I mean?
And we've talked about the Who, Kiss, and the Ramones now, and each one of them kind of had experience with issues behind or in front of a camera. The Beatles had no problem at all.
Yep.
They loved to talk, and they like a lot of this is improvised because
Yeah.
they were just they're friends
Yeah.
You
They're hanging out.
all the
And
time.
then somebody
just-
says something that I can make a joke and bust my friend up with, and they can do
They
it.
did it.
Yeah, it's great.
That's really cool. They were. This is I wrote this down. I don't know what this was. They were very open-minded, and were not bored or uninvested. So,
yeah. They were invested in making a good movie, not
Yeah.
looking stupid.
or because like we talked about in the past how the process of making movies isn't the process of performing on stage.
Yeah, I bet this is a bit different, though, because it's guerrilla style.
Yeah.
So just what
It probably was a little bit more exciting and fun because you are running from place to place,
Right.
hiding from.
It's like a
girls.
college film. It's like, no, we have to make this movie for class. Like, oh, we have to make this because Elvis did. Oh,
Yeah,
all right,
right,
let's do
yeah.
it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Who made the movie? Would Elvis make movies first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elvis was
What?
the one making the movies first, right?
You know Elvis is why they do that, right?
Right, but I didn't know if Elvis's movies came out in the 50s or if they came out in the 70s.
They started coming out. in
Yeah,
the
he was
50s,
dating
yeah.
like 12-year-olds in the movies. Not really, but like,
Well,
yeah.
almost.
Well, I know
Actually,
they
one-
got
I
into
saw
rock
one
and
movie and I
roll.
was like,
Yeah.
that lady is half
His
his age.
wife
Priscilla
was
was
that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know he was doing that, but the movies, like the one I saw,
But it was
the
okay.
actress was like half his age,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
but he
so,
was like 30 something.
So that makes her 15.
yeah,
It's not okay.
but
Speaking of relationships, put the one that's got George and a woman. She's got blonde hair. Yeah, those.
Is somebody still having a baby? Man, it's
yeah,
been a
she-
whole week.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, that's Patty Boyd, who George ends up marrying. And then Eric Clapton's like, hey,
Could I have your
want to
wife?
switch wives? And he wrote Layla about that woman that was just up there.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was in this movie.
I didn't know that.
is that the only actual girlfriend in here? I think
No,
they had.
Yoko's in there.
Yeah.
No, she's not.
No, they had. I thought they had like another one of their exes in
Yoko
here.
didn't come along till.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I
I
think
wasn't
that's the
expecting it
only
to
one.
be Yoko.
Yoko's been around since the 60s.
There's not a picture of it, but when they're doing the concert and the "You Can't Do That" song comes on, they show the audience, and Phil Collins is in the audience.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Is this person famous?
Which one?
Paul McCartney. No, the guy.
Oh, that other guy?
Boa, yeah.
Well, he's an actor. I can't remember his name, but he's
we didn't even talk about who's in this movie.
the
Paul
Beatles. But he reminds me of dude from SNL.
He's not on SNL.
Barry. He was it.
Hader.
Yeah, he kind of
Bill
reminds me of that.
Bill Hader.
Like he just is built like that. He
Those
doesn't.
two guys are pretty funny, but they're actors.
Maybe
Yeah.
look out. Is that Bill Hader?
Wait.
Bill Hader has a great story about you know the bad guy from Karate Kid? He's also that guy.
I know that actor name. Yeah,
I don't know his name. He's not that big an actor.
Ralph Macchio.
But when he first went to Hollywood, he was driving him around. And he has a great story about that. You should check it out.
Okay.
That guy's a jerk. Spoiler alert.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was cool and
His character was just a jerk.
yeah. Well, the other actor was the jerk.
Ralph Macchio?
Yeah, I thought Ralph Macchio was a.
I don't know. I don't know.
I haven't met either one of them.
Yeah,
Probably
me neither.
won't.
But that story Bill Hader tells, he's a jerk.
So the editor had a lot of time constraints editing this film, so everything had to be tight. They
It is tight too.
very tight editing, and they basically he was doing it as they went, which
Oh,
is
that's
basically
cool.
unheard of.
Yeah, that's a good idea though with these kinds of things.
And I don't know if you noticed, but I could not take it. But this whole movie's out of sync.
Like audio wise,
Yes.
Sometimes I notice that.
I watch anime. I don't listen.
You don't
I
care.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't pay attention.
This is one of, if not the first movie where they had the record already. They had the music they were using.
Yeah.
So they had where they needed the audio to be at.
Right.
So they had to make that audio match this here. So it's basically all dubbed. But it's dubbed from the 60s. So it's a little hit and miss. Yeah. But I thought that was really funny that, you've got, they made an album movie where, they wrote the song for the movie.
Yeah.
But, all these other stuff, And I Love Her, stuff like that they play later on in the movie. I'm glad I wrote this down too, because the album wasn't made yet.
Right.
And this
It wasn't
album
out yet. Yeah.
has a song that somebody caught Paul McCartney essentially doing a singer's doodle or a musician's
really?
doodle. He was just kind of playing around. The song that he was playing around with was Yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Became Yesterday.
Right. Scrambled eggs.
Yeah. And oh my God. And these older gents kind of take this stuff for granted because they were the professionals working with this new band called the Beatles that in their career would have became the most successful band ever made. And now we're going back talking about it.
Yeah.
He was making Yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what?
so cool.
Yeah.
You're there, it's history.
I just stumbled upon Stanley Kubrick and he was just, I don't know, just making something. Yeah, it's The Shining.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, that's why the audio is kind of whack, is because you've got highly mastered audio already. And you didn't want to jam it with something that you got off a train.
Right. But in the studio, it wouldn't matter because that's all that stuff's got to be there anyway.
The crew was very concerned a lot of the time when these hordes of girls, they kept saying these girls would show up. They said, we don't know where they came from. They just showed up. They were real fans. And a lot of times they were very worried that they were going to tear the people apart.
Right.
Because
that was a fear
very
from theirs.
much a mob. And the fear was really there.
In way later, when Paul McCartney did Back in the U.S., and then he put it out on DVD, there's behind the scenes stuff. He's going in between venues and stuff, and people are coming up to him with records for him to sign, and you can always see him say, "Okay, all right," calming him down. And I'm sure that's some PTSD.
Yeah,
from this
we had
time.
to come from there.
Yeah,
You'd also notice that a lot of the shots in this are wide shots.
yeah,
Where the two people will be talking without any cuts. That's not very seen. And it's very not seen anymore.
not anymore.
We get a lot of over-the-shoulder stuff. But Richard, who, again, everybody was under these basic handicaps making this movie, instead of kind of wasting footage, he would shoot it all
Yeah,
and use different layers of perspective. The Ringo in the cafe with Gramps there, you can really demonstrate it because
Yeah,
it
right.
does change focus
yeah,
as the scene goes on. And then Ringo, somebody gets up. He
Ringo gets up and
He
leaves.
gets up and leaves.
He's like,
Well,
I'm not
he's
watching this
getting
guy.
up- hang on, he gets up to get sugar off the tables because he's
Yes,
constantly
guy.
on sugar.
Yeah.
But the focus stays on him the entire time. As you know, working with these cameras, you have to
Yeah.
move your focus, which with a camera you can't look at is a little difficult. And then Ringo gets up and he leaves too, which goes into the weird Ringo
Lore.
edgy scenes.
Nobody cares about me.
I could not get over. He puts a hat on, and now he's nobody.
I think that's hilarious.
Nobody
Everybody on the
cared
street's
till I
rude
took
to
the
him.
hat off.
Yeah. And like in that bar when he's throwing darts and breaking stuff, and it's a really fun movie. And then they throw them out because they're old people. They're the wrong generation.
Yeah.
They don't care about you're in the Beatles. Get out.
And like you said with the camera, and he pulls it down. Like just a
That's
lot of this. It's really
hilarious.
a movie that they don't make movies like this anymore.
No, they don't.
And I mean, you don't want to.
No.
You know, because it's very risky. Like Terminator.
Yeah.
The first Terminator is all basically guerrilla. He didn't have a permit to film.
Lots of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just saw a thing about
I'll be back.
To Live and Die in L.A. Freaking didn't have permits to do stuff, and then they really just drive up the wrong way on a highway and stuff like that. And the people that are yelling at them and stuff like that's real people, real drivers not getting in accidents.
William Friedkin always reminded me of what's his name?
Scott
No, the German guy, German filmmaker.
Fritz Lang.
Is it? He plays a client in The Mandalorian. I would like to see the baby.
Who is that?
I cannot think of his name.
my
Is
God.
on the tip of my-
Werner?
Werner Herzog.
Yeah,
He's another guy like that.
yeah,
too.
he is like that.
He got a guy at a gunpoint to finish a movie, kind of stuff like
Yeah.
that. Art. These are art projects
Yeah.
too. Like, and people forget that.
Yeah, they get pretty passionate about their stuff.
And Friedkin is like just like that too.
Yeah.
He's like, well, don't tell him. Sorcerer is Friedkin too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The whole making of that is a trip.
yeah.
And that's in the Criterion Collection. I can't wait to check out the commentaries on that.
I can't wait to see that movie for once.
You haven't seen it?
No, not yet.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
we should do it then. And they keep repeating. Man, they were so mind blown with these kids. They just kept saying these kids were just there.
Yeah,
They were just there. But let's talk about the story a little bit, because the story is essentially like how all these other ones are. We are going to perform a concert, and this is
Right.
the story leading up to the
it's a
concert.
TV show.
Yeah, and this
It
one they're
happens to be
doing
on
it
a
on
TV show.
not the Ed Sullivan Show.
No, it's in England.
The English channel with the most hairiest, woolliest, uncomfortable looking sweater. I couldn't believe that. It looked terrible. It looked like something you'd pull out of like a bag and the static.
Yeah,
All of it's just sticking on end. It doesn't look good on camera even. But they're going to play on his show, which is a big show. And
a really big shoot.
supposed to be the first time the Beatles were on TV. Was that what
I
that was
don't
supposed to
remember
be?
anything like that.
Because it looked like that footage.
Yeah, it does.
That
Like the set.
yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And they play 4 or 5 songs that are all kind of deep cut Beatles songs. I would say they're not their hits.
I don't think they're their hits, but I don't think there's anything called a deep cut Beatles song. They're all
Not yet. Yeah, these ones were all kind of radio. Because I would call, I don't know. I don't think Rubber Soul's got a couple
maybe, but like
album cuts.
for the benefit of Mr. Kite,
Yeah, I love that. I
I
love
do too.
Sgt. Pepper.
and everybody just loves their whole album. They're all just best of.
That's very true. The best of Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah.
Start to finish. So that's kind of the premise of this movie. And
Yeah,
we
they do a
go-
rehearsal, go out that night, do the show.
Yeah. And they go from place to place, and then we really do get to see a nice variety of London. Mm-hmm. I did appreciate that. And for this being kind of a London movie, it's not very boring. A lot of English
I don't think
movies are very boring.
it's very put together well.
It is.
It moves right along, and it's got goofy humor and stuff in it.
I think they could have cut out the grandpa, though. I don't think you needed him in there.
I don't know why he's in there, except for they got this TV actor.
To get the plot to like Ringo has to be turned against it.
But
he's the reason they get into the funny situations. It's not necessarily the Beatles.
He's just kind of a nuisance, though.
Yeah, but I think I like it.
You
I don't know. I thought he
I
was
like it too.
I think he's.
I thought.
I don't think he doesn't not need to be there. I don't think he
forging their
takes anything away.
signatures?
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's the 5th Beatle in the movie. Like,
Kinda.
and they have to babysit him.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I like it.
I like it too. And he's very clean.
And like when Paul passes him off on someone else
Yeah.
and they lose him, he's like, "Dude, what? You got to go find him. It's
go
your
find
grandpa."
I like how they break to play in the park.
I don't
Hopping
like that. Was the I thought that was when you were like, "This was edited tight." I wanted to bring that up. That didn't need it. They
What are you
could have
talking
cut
about?
that whole part
That
out,
was a song. You
so they couldn't have.
Where
But
it's like halfway through the movie, they escape the hotel room.
and they're in a park messing with each
Yeah.
other. Like one acts like he punches him, gets put down, then one of them acts like he kicks him.
Yeah, I think
Then
it's just
one
like
of them
she
gets
has to
up,
have
they all fall.
another song in there,
Yeah.
which is what's going to make this. You saw that crowd; they're going there to watch the Beatles play songs.
Yeah.
No, what? Yeah.
I do like how they get out. They're like, go back up to your room. They're like, there's a fire exit. Just leave. The rehearsal that they play, they're like, we're going to cheer Ringo up by playing something.
Yeah, that song.
Again. But then Ringo's playing the drums, but he's just like whacking his
Yeah.
2 flat sticks along with the thing. And I just was like, I didn't care.
Yeah, well, I noticed too, like a lot of these guys, especially the Who, don't like
Ringo.
miming their songs when they do them on TV.
I'm going to be so honest.
Frickin' Keith Moon is goofing off, and
God.
Tommy's like not doing it right.
It's
Now doing it on
harder.
TV is one thing, but doing it in your movie is stupid.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But Keith Moon is way too.
Because I had to do it I'm making the music video
Yeah.
for a song we're releasing. I think I'm the worst part of it. And I'm playing the song, but like it's just weird looking. It doesn't look right.
Uh-huh.
And I'm playing the same
That's
thing
cool.
I
But
play.
it does look like
I-
the Doors did it, and they weren't playing live on TV. You could see this stuff, and it looks good. It looks like he's really playing them and stuff. But like Keith Moon is like goofing off, and he does it in the movie, and it's not cool.
The point where Keith Moon straight up beats up his drum set too.
Yeah, but that's different.
I don't know. I found it kind of funny when I'm watching it. And like, I can tell you're not playing this music.
And they feel stupid doing it too.
Yeah.
They said
like you're
that they
wearing a
don't
diaper.
like doing it. Yeah.
And that might be the weakest part of it is that it's pre-recorded stuff. that they're working with. Man, I wish I could read some of this stuff.
But like a lot of it could be like the song starts playing and you just take that out. Now that's the video for the song.
Yeah.
Like that park thing seems like that kind of before there were music videos. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah. That's why when the Ramones one happened, I was like, none of this was not, they didn't use any of it.
No.
I was like, that seems like the reason they made it.
Uh-huh.
And then they're like, all right, we can make a movie out of this. Why not?
I also find it to be kind of cool that the Beatles themselves don't feel like they're competing for the spotlight.
Right. Totally not.
They feel like they're, oh yeah, well you go. You know. It's
natural.
unexpected, yeah. And it's natural and it doesn't feel like I'm watching Pretentious.
Yeah.
Like this had all the makings of being the pretentious movie it could have been.
And it's not at all.
It's not at all.
They're just regular guys. Like when they are in the bathroom, George Harrison does that thing on the mirror where he's going to shave.
Shaving him.
John Lennon was just in the tub, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to shoot." He just stayed in the tub.
He has shorts on at one point. So,
well, they probably gave them to him, but he walked in on him in the tub and just kept going.
Oh, word.
What was your favorite kind of scene in this movie?
Well, I said where Ringo pulls the camera into the water.
Yeah.
That and everybody talking about how clean the grandpa is. That running gag cracks me up.
What about you, Randy?
Okay.
The beginning, I really like when Ringo messes up a line. I like that. Really yeah, he's like, and the girl's like, you're like, you don't even hear what he says.
Yeah.
It's
What was the
just
joke, Ringo?
gibberish, and then laughing.
It really is gibberish too.
And because every other line he's fine. Every other line is fine, but that one. I really like the train sequence when they're messing with that guy.
Yeah.
And he's
hey,
like,
can we have our ball back, mister?
Yeah, because he owns the train.
Yeah.
Yada, yada.
I
They start
take
playing
this
their music.
twice a week.
Yeah.
Twice a week.
That guy's not really very old either. He just looks old.
He might be. He's pretty old. He's in his 40s. That's pretty old.
He's
in
not
black
even
and
that
white,
old.
so
No,
he's
he's like
really
in his 30s,
old.
seriously.
That's old.
Not as old as he looks, though.
Right.
He looks older.
My favorite part was the end when they get into the helicopter. Again, for what reason?
Yeah.
Helicopter.
Because they are so big and they got to go to the next show. I was like, that didn't need to be in there at all either.
It is kind of like they shoehorn the end in, but who cares? Whoops.
And he's like, get rid of those, Grandpa. All right. And they
just
fall. I also like how they handcuff him.
yeah, and he gets out always.
I also think the mini concert in this felt a little awkward.
Really?
As opposed to the other ones. Maybe because it was televised. And you saw a lot of it, in the control room.
Yeah.
Sets.
I liked all that.
I did like the shot where it pulls out from the camera's viewfinder.
Yeah, that was cool.
Awesome. I was like, oh, that's cool as hell. That's, but I just thought it was a little too clunky. Because it also didn't feel natural. Like, they just kind of went right to another song. There was no, talking in between it. It was just like, cut. All it felt like.
No problem with
No problem with that.
Nope.
Who's your favorite Beatle?
In the movie, it's Paul.
Yeah.
I like John a lot. I think
like
John's battle with their manager guy.
Yeah.
I think that was awesome. That was also kind of just done. It was in the script, but a lot of what they were doing was it became a natural animosity.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool. A lot of this is just naturally good.
Yeah.
I don't think one would have done better without the other, though.
I kind of meant which character did you like the most? Not who's your favorite Beatle?
Oh.
Because obviously the right answer to that is Ringo.
I think the old guy and the sidekick who constantly gets left behind is pretty good.
The manager guys?
Yeah, the other one, though. Not the
taller
meaner
one?
one. Yeah, the taller one. I also like how Ringo dancing is drumming. Like, if you put him on that's what he does on the drums. He's like actually just drumming and air drumming. I do think it was funny that also when they started dancing, Ringo jumps and the other guy's like, oh, we're jumping now. And then like, they just start jumping and you jump and then I jump and then you jump. I thought that was kind of funny.
So I've heard a lot of people, drummers specifically, talk about Ringo's style of drumming and how it's kind of a sloppy kind of pattern to it. I noticed watching this that he does kind of look like he's not got any kind of discipline drumming. He's just kind of hitting things.
Right.
As a drummer, do you see how he's able to play, or do you see that as just like, oh, he's just untrained, he doesn't hone the craft in?
No, I think it's the exact opposite. He's just got his own way.
Because he's also marked as one of the greatest drummers of all time.
And I guess he's got
and his style is hard to...
Yeah, he's tight.
And he doesn't... I don't like that he doesn't do fills, and that's on purpose. His drumming is... this is from what he said, too, is like he has a purpose, and that's it. He doesn't like to get flashy. Like Keith Moon is very flashy.
In this, they do the recital, and then Ringo stops playing, and Paul goes up to him, and he's like, "Nah, for this part, I wanted to go like ba boom, like a fill." I don't think he ever does that fill actually, but I was like, that's pretty cool because I think that's probably how it. Knowing that Paul McCartney is just a songwriter, just does that all from start to bottom. He probably did just be like, "Nah, dude, this."
Yeah, he probably did.
Like,
because he does play the drums on albums that he does himself.
Yeah.
He's Paul plays every instrument.
Yeah, every instrument,
including the kazoo. You roll your eyes, but he does.
Believe it.
It's on one of his McCartney song albums. He plays a kazoo.
I don't remember.
Oh, you don't know it either?
I can't think of it.
It's wild that and like Ma loves it and everything. Like, it's crazy that it starts with, you know what a kazoo sounds like.
Oh yeah.
And it's a good song. I don't know. It's weird. He really can turn gold out of anything.
Yeah, that's true.
But this has been a hard day's night. So we've taken a look at 4 completely and unique different movies, all trying to be the next Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
Do you think they can compare or hold a candle to the light of the original? No, you don't think so?
I don't even think the good ones can.
They can hold a candle to them, but this one is by far the best.
You would have to be a band, and then just be like, you have to be funny. So you're already probably not, and then you gotta have that. No, we're just making a college film vibe, and they don't even let you do that anymore. So not to mention all they got to throw away every safety thing. They got all this stuff for just, hey, we're the Beatles.
Yeah.
You at like any other prestigious name couldn't do that anymore. So like,
no, they'd all want extra money.
That like miasma that this has, you couldn't even replicate it if you wanted to. I think not that it's a good movie, but just we got to do whatever we wanted. You'll never get that. I don't think.
No, you definitely would not. And I think just the whole, it's professionally done, but it looks like everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
That's
really
what I mean
does.
by college.
Absolutely.
You're supposed to know what you're doing in college too. You're making a good film, but you got that little bit of like, oh, you said a line wrong. Oh, what the continuity thing, like things that make sense to other like actual movies.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, they don't worry about that. They're worried about you. So as long as they're doing good, I think that's enough. I don't think a movie could stand on just personality, unless you have that, which is already hard.
Yeah. Right.
So you got Tommy and you got the Hard Day's Night movie. Which one takes the
I think A Hard Day's Night's better.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shorter.
It is shorter, but I kind of think Tommy might be better because I think Tommy's got more going on, really.
It really does have more going on, and I think the less is more makes A Hard Day's Night better.
Like, I think The Wall is still a better movie than this. But you'd catch me watching this before you'd catch me, like, just watching The Wall.
Well, yeah. Do you want to kill yourself?
Yeah. Well, I would say with Tommy, too. Like, this is something you could genuinely just put it on.
Yeah, you can kill yourself.
Especially if you like the Beatles. You could just play this movie. If you are not wanting to get depressed.
You got to be ready for Tommy. You
Yeah.
can't just throw that on.
And it's a better movie overall. Like,
What do you mean, The Wall?
Or The Wall and Tommy. Like, the actors are better. All that stuff is better.
I just think Tommy is technically better.
No,
Yeah.
technically, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Not
But
like, what's the
this is
technicality? Like,
More like they're a couple of days out of their life.
yeah.
It's
It
more
does
realistic.
feel like that, yeah. Whereas Tommy feels like a journey and experience. This
Right.
feels like I'm watching. I'm part of the crew.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
our way. So Hard Day's Night wins that bracket there. Now we've got Kiss and Attack of the Phantoms, which is great, versus A Hard Day's Night.
Yeah.
So, which one's going to win there? I cannot believe they were like, no, this is going to be Star Wars meets A Hard Day's Night. And then you
Yeah.
watch A Hard Day's Night, and then you watch that Kiss movie. You're like, wow.
Yeah, and you know what? A Hard
set
Day's
yourself up
Night
for
and Star
failure.
Wars don't go together
At all.
At all. So if you said that to me, I'd be like, no, let's make one or the other.
And this isn't
They
even
didn't
the
even
best
make
Beatles.
They make
either.
neither.
They didn't even pick one.
This isn't even the best Beatles movie.
I think this is the best.
You think this is the best
Yeah.
one? Over Magical Mystery Tour?
Yeah, that was pretty boring. That one didn't work, but I like it
Help.
better than Help.
You didn't. I'd say I like.
And Help
better
is,
than this one.
I like the songs from Help better than the songs in this one, but the actual movie I like better.
Fair. So A Hard Day's Night obviously takes it. Like there wasn't where we're gonna. Well, which one's got the best music? Who's gonna
Yeah.
have? Yeah. Just as a movie, Hard Day's Night has taken it. It's got.
If I was going to rank these
legacy.
four, I would go A Hard Day's Night, Rock and Roll High School, Tommy, Kiss Me, Phantom of the Park.
Wow. What would you do?
Ironically, for me only, I think I'd put this, the Kiss one, Tommy, Rock and Roll High School.
See, I would put.
But I don't think the Kiss movie's that good. I just think it's corny.
Oh, see, I love it.
That's what's so good about it.
yeah, I
though.
like
Yeah.
it for dumb reasons.
Yeah, me too.
See, that one's the only movie one to me.
Yeah, it really is.
You know what I mean? That one and then Rock and Roll High School are like those are movies.
Yeah.
Tommy
That
is
have
like an
music in 'em.
experience, and this is almost like a documentary.
Yeah.
But like they are characters in the Kiss.
They're
You know.
they're characters in the Kiss one. And these are a bunch of characters they made a movie out of.
Yeah,
Because they are a bunch of characters.
But overall, I'd give it a solid thumb up.
Oh, hell
thumb and a
yeah.
half. I don't think it's the perfect movie, but I don't think it's terrible at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's phenomenal family film.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Rondi?
I liked it. Oh, I would watch Yellow Submarine,
That's not the Beatles movie.
but it's better. But it's got the Beatles music in it.
Yeah.
It's cool animation. I like animation, but I like this movie. It was good.
Yeah.
It is.
It's an hour.
Check
watch
it out.
for free. On
Where'd you
YouTube.
watch it?
YouTube for free.
You watch on YouTube?
No, I think it's on HBO Max or something.
I think you're right.
I don't think
I
mine
almost saw it.
was licensed.
Oh,
To be honest, not that I do that, but
Well, I got the criterion of it. I would check it out. Check out the podcast. Check us out on all of our social medias. We are Cheese Film. We are Hecubus. We are Randy Official. Scratch that. Reverse it. I am the Demon King. I'm the Lizard King. We should have done the doors. That would have been fun.
And you're very clean.
I'm very clean. I'm the Eggman. Cuckoo, kachoo. Goo goo gajoob.